guys, welcome back to my channel. I was tagged in a really exciting video, the Millennial Diabetic Challenge video. So I am here today to do that tag and answer those questions. I think there's 9 questions total, so I'm gonna answer them to the best that I can, all about diabetes and my diagnosis story and fun things like that. Okay, so to start, I have this crazy headband on that I don't love with this sweater, but I'm going with it. It's Sunday, it's cloudy out, so this is just, you know, you gotta wear a headband when you don't wash your hair. Anyway, I was tagged by The Hangry Woman by Mila. Thank you, Mila, for tagging me. She tagged me in this Millennial Diabetic Challenge, which I've never been a part of a challenge before. So this is really cool and really fun. Thank you again so much for tagging me. I believe this challenge was started by Josephine. Her channel will be linked below, so that's so cool. That's really cool that you started this challenge, Josephine. I don't know if you'll see this video, but this is really cool. So I'm excited to get into the questions. And I have them all on my iPad, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at, is my iPad. Okay, question number 1. What type of diabetes do you have? I have type 1 diabetes. I've had it for 19 years, I think. Wait. Oh my God, I've had it for 20 years. Okay, sorry. I've had type 1 diabetes for 20 years, so I've been through it. I've had it for a while. I kind of feel like I know the ins and outs of diabetes, or at least what I've experienced with it so far. So yeah, I've had diabetes for 20 years, not 19. Next question, when were you diagnosed? So I was diagnosed, we don't know the exact date, but my first A1C was recorded in November of 2000, November 20th, 2000. That's so weird to say 2000. So yeah, so just over 20 years ago. Okay, next question. What was your reaction to your diagnosis? So I was actually 6 years old when I was diagnosed. I have no memory of being diagnosed. I don't remember anything before I was diagnosed, so I don't remember life without diabetes. I don't know. In my brain, I've always had diabetes, and I just don't know life without it. So I'm not sure if I have a great answer for that question. I'm gonna phone a friend and call my mom, Dr. Diabatass. We love her. I'm calling my mom. I hope she answers.
Hey.
Hello, I'm filming a YouTube video and I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, one of the questions that I'm answering is what was my reaction when I was diagnosed, but obviously I was too young to answer, so I'm gonna phone a friend and ask you what was your reaction when I was diagnosed.
Okay. Honestly, I had been sort of assuming it would happen at some point. And it was almost a relief that it was finally here and we could deal with it and not just kind of wait, you know, and wonder if or when it was going to happen. It was like, okay, got it, now we can deal with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. That's it. Thank you very much. Sorry I called you super last minute and didn't give you any warning.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was my mom. So backstory, my mom has diabetes. You guys probably know that. I've tagged her in other videos. We've done videos together. So she kind of was always looking for it in me, and then kind of one day it sprouted out. So it sprouted out, that didn't make sense. One day it showed up. So that's what she meant when she said it was kind of a relief, because I think she was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I think maybe my dad feels the same way, but we'll only call on one parent in this video. The next question is, how do you control your diabetes? So I am currently on pens, but I will say I have been on like every type of diabetic management tool, I guess you could say. I've been on all types of pumps, Medtronic, Tandem, Omnipod. I did the closed loop system, the DIY closed loop system. I haven't used the Medtronic closed loop, but right now I use pens and I'm really enjoying them. I use the InPen, so it's a smart insulin pen, which is really cool. It connects to my phone. I did a video on that maybe 2 videos ago now. It was a year in review on the InPen, so if you want to check that out, definitely do so. I feel like maybe there's a second answer to that question, I'm also on the Dexcom G6, which is a super great CGM continuous glucose monitor. It allows me to see my blood sugar every 5 minutes, which is really cool. It alerts me if I'm high or if I'm low. I've put out a ton of videos on that, so definitely check some of those out. But I would say that is my main source of how I manage it, is just being able to see like what I am, where my blood sugar is going. Is it going like super high or is it going super low? What's going on? That's probably the best answer for how I control my diabetes, is being able to see it on my phone. The next question is, what has your experience been with diabetes medication? So I currently am on Fiasp and Tresiba, and then I take a little bit of Afrezza. I'll explain what those 3 medicines are now. Fiasp is a short-acting insulin. Tresiba is a long-acting insulin that you take once a day. So Fiasp you take after you eat anything or if you have a high blood sugar. Tresiba you take once a day. And Afrezza is actually inhalable insulin. I'm just trying that out. I've started using that in the last like month. I don't think I'll fully switch to Afrezza, but I don't know, never say never. In the past I was on Novolog, which was another form of short-acting insulin. And a newer thing that I've been trying out is a GLP-1 medicine. So that's mostly used for type 2 diabetics, but I am pretty insulin resistant. So I use that to kind of help make me more insulin sensitive. So I am on Ozempic, that's the GLP-1 that I'm on. I tried Trulicity, but I got a weird reaction from it. I filmed a couple videos on that in the past, so you can check those out. But those are my main diabetes medications. So Fiasp, Afrezza, Tresiba, Novolog, and Ozempic, and Trulicity. 6 of them. Okay, moving on. The best diabetic advice that I've been given. So, I feel like there's a lot. I would say one of the best things that I've been given, or maybe one of the best things I've been taught is, like I remember when I was little, my dad always said like, you can do whatever you want, you can eat whatever you want, you just have to like make these little adjustments when you do that, which is like taking insulin or, you know, counting carbs, stuff like that. So I would say the best diabetes advice that I've ever been given is you can live your life, you can do whatever you want, you can eat whatever you want, you just have to take a little extra step of taking insulin. And I would say I've taken that advice and kind of ran with it because I've done a lot, and I haven't really let diabetes stop me at all. Okay, the next question is, what is your food philosophy with diabetes? So I don't really have a food philosophy. I kind of listen to my body, like listen to what it's telling me that I'm hungry for, whether that be chocolate or vegetables or, you know, something light, something heavy. I don't really like adhere to any diabetic food rules like low carb, keto, or anything. Now I like to eat low carb and keto and eat healthy just because it's good for you as like a human being, but I wouldn't say that I like follow any specific like diet regimen or do anything specific because I have diabetes. Okay, the next question is, what has been the biggest challenge since you've been diagnosed? So the biggest challenge that I have gone through is burnout. I was in burnout for a while. I would say maybe like more than 5 years, where I just didn't take care of myself. I was on a Medtronic pump, so I had a pump, but I wouldn't take insulin. I would just let it give me my basal, and you know, I would eat things like a Rice Krispie treat thing, bar, whatever those are called, and I wouldn't take any insulin. And then later I'd be like, oh, I'm so thirsty, like I feel tired, but it wouldn't occur to me that like, oh yeah, you should have taken insulin for that Rice Krispie treat. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest challenge, is going through those times. Coming out of those, I don't know, it's kind of like something switched in my head really quickly. And that thing that kind of switched was I got a new pump, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna like start taking care of myself now, which that sounds so casual, but that's literally what happened. Is I was like, yeah, I should really kind of put more effort into this if I want to live a long, successful, happy, and healthy life. And so far, I've had no real like complications from diabetes. Maybe a little neuropathy in my feet, but I don't have any diabetic retinopathy, which has to do with your eyes or anything like that. So I've been very lucky, and my A1Cs now are like in the 6s. I think my last one was maybe 6.2, which is incredible because in those burnout years, I was definitely in the like 11s and 12s, and my doctors would be like, you have to do something different. And I'd be like, yeah, but I just like don't want to. I'm kind of a stubborn person, so my stubbornness really showed during those times. But I have come through the burnout and I am taking care of myself much, much better now, and I have for the past couple of years, which is really nice. The last question is, what is the best diabetic resource that you have? I've always thought of like diabetic resources as a toolbox or a tool bag, where you get things to help you like build something. So I would say in that tool bag is like pumps, CGM, stuff like that. But one of my favorite things, and sorry, my watch is going off. I'm gonna mute my watch. One of the best things that I have in my toolbox is Instagram. I love Instagram as a community. Like, it's so nice on a day maybe when I don't feel like doing it, like I just don't feel like taking care of my diabetes. Maybe I woke up high and it's like you already feel kind of defeated for the day. It's so great going on Instagram because we all do it, in the morning or sometime during the day. I always like going on there and seeing like, okay, someone else has woke up high or someone else had a really bad low last night, and it's like makes you feel not so alone, and that there's other people out there that are going through what you're going through, even if you haven't met them. It's great that you can just message them really quick on Instagram and say like, hey, I'm like going through the same thing that you're going through, like let's kind of maybe team up, or just so like I am totally in the same boat as you. So yeah, I would say Instagram is my favorite tool, but I also love my CGM, my Dexcom G6. It is probably one of my all-time favorite, like I couldn't live without it. Well, and insulin, but love the G6. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you, Mila, for tagging me, the Hangry Woman, in this challenge, the Millennial Diabetic Challenge. That was really cool, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. I'm going to also tag 3 people, and I have their names like written down here. So the first one is Sadie Aldis, I think that's how you say your last name. She has a really cool channel that talks about diabetes and a bunch of other things, which I love. Michelle Lord, she has a really great diabetic YouTube channel. And another one that I just discovered recently is called She's Diabetic. That is another really great diabetes YouTube channel. So there are a bunch of us diabetic YouTubers out there. I would love to see those 3 channels do this. So if you do, let me know. And if you have any other questions for me, definitely leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. And I think other than that, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.